Denmark, wasn't it?
Oh, Denmark. Sorry, yeah. Anyway, so I turned
And
it.
yeah,
Yeah. So I
and
flipped the channel. Yeah, go on. Sorry. Yeah. So I flipped the channel over, and it was about 77 minutes, and I think it was 1-0
right.
77 minutes. And then, just as I flipped it over, Scotland scored. It was 2-1. So I was so happy. I was like,
Who
yeah,
won?
God, come on, Scotland. I'm like, you just have to hold on for 12 minutes now, and it'll be all over. Anyway, they let one goal in, didn't they? It was 2-all. I thought, oh, typical Scotland. Come on.
Heartbreak. Yeah, heartbreak.
Yeah, I
Really.
thought, I thought, oh
Yeah.
my days. And then I started going online to see if they could still, if there's a chance they could still qualify. Anyway, as I was doing that, just keeping an eye on the match, and then they scored. Scotland scored. I was like, wow, you just got to hold on now. And I think,
Yeah.
why is it going over 90 minutes? They're not playing
Yeah.
penalties, not extra time. And it just
Yeah.
kept going 90, 95, 90. And I'm like, just blow the final whistle now. Scotland is in it.
Yeah.
And then they went and scored that surprise goal. I thought, wow, this is good. I really love that goal because, you know, he was very, it was very instinctive um, of the player to look where the goalkeeper was and just look it
Yeah.
over the
Yeah.
goalkeeper. That was really brilliant. So yeah, so I enjoyed the match. I was a bit disappointed with Brazil and Senegal last night. It was although it was a friendly, but it did expose a lot of things about Brazil. And I thought,
Mm.
where's the Brazil I used to know? But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yes, it
yeah,
doesn't seem to be there now, does it? And I tell you partly why, maybe. A lot of, I don't know how many of their players last night, I expect most of them or whatever, but who play in Europe. Now, I know there are some quite a lot of Brazilian players here. I mean, the Liverpool goalie, although I think he might be injured at the moment, Alisson, he probably international. I mean, can you say whether there were some Premier League players in
there
the
were,
team there last
yeah,
night?
there was Cunha. He was playing, and there was
Yeah,
Estavios, who plays the young lad that plays for Chelsea.
right,
Uh, is very young, but he's a really good player. He was playing, and there was Manchester United's Casemiro.
right,
Uh,
yeah,
he was playing as well. There was Piqueta. He
right.
plays. I don't know if he still plays for West Ham, but he used to play for West Ham.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, he was good. Good player.
Yeah, yeah. He wasn't good last night. But yeah, so I think those are the ones that I could recognize that played in the game last night. Um, and I think that Estavio, the young lad, he scored a penalty. So Brazil had a penalty, and he scored it. But I wasn't impressed. I quite like their game against Senegal. No, they played Tunisia last night. Sorry, I quite like their earlier game because they've played two friendlies now. Their earlier game that they played against Senegal, that was good. Casemiro scored. It was 2-0. But last night's one, it just exposed a lot of things that they
Mm.
need to work on anyway, which is what friendlies are for at the end of the day. So yeah, now whether they just thought it was friendlies and they're just gonna play it as friendlies. Maybe they would have been more serious if there's something at stake. I don't know, but I wasn't. You know, but I wasn't impressed with Brazil last night playing Tunisia.
No, and
Yeah,
it's interesting, isn't it? And I wonder if it's because a lot of their players over the last few years have played and do play for European clubs, I'm always still quite surprised when you're watching Match of the Day or whatever to see how many Brazilian players there are here now. So in one way, maybe it just the lack of seeing the Brazil that used to be a few years ago, where they were kind of just so talented all round the team and they were exuberant. I mean, they could do things with the ball, shots, from nowhere. They just seem to be so much better than other countries' footballers. So whether it's because many of them have become Europeanized, Premier Leagueized, so that they've been coached into almost a different way of approaching the game to what Brazil used to be like with Pele and others, I don't know. Maybe it just all coincides with the fact that something I've said before, I just get the feeling now, although you get some football managers internationally or domestically who prioritise, we don't want to lose. We're on the side of defence, whereas most teams perhaps think, well, we're going to try and win, prioritise attack. But generally, that said, the style of football, and we've talked about this before, you get the horseshoe passing at the back. You rarely see a team from here or elsewhere, another country, playing football in a different way. It's all basically the same. As I say, the priority might be a bit different. You may give more strength to the defensive midfield or attacking midfield. But by and large, what we see, and it is the beautiful game still, what we see is the way football has kind of eventually evolved into, with a few kind of rule changes along the way, which talked about VAR and things like that. But I think it means more and more international teams around the world basically play football in the same way. And I think a few years ago, you could see a contrast in the way Argentina played. They were pretty physically tough, maybe with even the way Brazil played. Another South American, they were more of a beautiful passing game, brilliance, individual brilliance, and so on. But now everything seems to have morphed into this similar style of play, which may not be a bad thing. I mean, it's like anything; things eventually progress in life until they reach, I don't know, a design limit. There's only so many things you can then do with, for example, with the shape of an aeroplane or the shape of a car to get the best aerodynamics. And maybe with football, there's only so much you can do to pass this ball, presumably still made of leather.